So we'll start introductions with the lady who's exactly on time. Linda, if you introduce yourself, please. Yeah.
Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Linda Brick. I'm the Director of Corporate Services here with the City of Merritt, and I'm excited to be able to support you guys.
And when you hit your button, microphone goes off. Next in line. Ma'am.
All right. Pardon me. Sorry. Hi, I'm Judith Myram. I'm actually here twofold. I work for ICS. I'm the coordinator for the Better at Home Nicola Valley program now. So I'm here partly for that position, and also just having a disability. Accessibility is an important part of my life that I don't always have. So yeah, I'm here for both those purposes. So looking forward to this. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Gail Bloom. I've been on the previous committee and also the planning committee before this, right? So here I am again.
Wendy Charney, councillor.
Mike Etch, councillor or mayor, sorry.
Linda Isaac, I'm a newbie. So here, so no, up there, right in front there. Okay. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sue Fisher, and I was on the previous accessibility committee, and I'm happy to come back again.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kelly McDonald, and I work with Interior Health. But I work on a special team that is more focused on local government policy and planning. And I've done about 4 of these accessibility plans with other communities. So I'm super excited to work with Merritt on yours as well and meet all of you. So thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. No, Ashton, you would be next. There we go.
I'm Ashlyn Gush. I'm the committee clerk, so I'll be providing kind of any administrative support that you folks need. You'll be getting reminders and emails of packages or anything else that you need.
Thank you. Clerk.
Larry Gamache, I've been a long time mayor resident.
Welcome all. Thank you for being here. We would like to begin this meeting by acknowledging that we are gathered on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Nkapa and Syilx people. Adoption of minutes 2.1. I know you guys probably just got these, but Age Accessibility Committee minutes September 27th to 2021. Probably the only person that was here was Gail. So we had, well, way to go. So recommendation that the minutes of the Age Accessibility Committee held on September 27th, 2021 be adopted. Just need somebody to throw their hand up for that. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Gail. I know you haven't had a long time to read them over, but we'll just pretend that you did. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Unfinished business, new business, election of chair. So election of chair is real simple. The election of chair is the person who's going to run the meeting. I'm a firm believer that council members should not be chairs. It comes into cause some issues. So what we would do is call for someone to run the chair, and since I've got the microphone, I'm going to ask if Gail Bloom would like to be the chair. Oh, shot down. Oh, for Gail. Anybody else want to sit in this chair? Anyone?
We can.
No, that's fine. No, if I've got to take it, I've got to take it. It's fine. It's not a problem. All right, good. I'm in. No problem. I'll be in. Not a problem. I understand. Time is of the essence. So recommendation that Mike Getz be appointed as chair of the Age Friendly and Accessibility Committee, terms of reference. Am I reading that right? Yes. Shouldn't that just be appointed as chair of the Age Friendly and Accessibility Committee? Not the terms of reference part? Okay, not the terms of reference part. Let's get rid of that. So I'll read that again. Recommendation that Mike Getz be appointed as the chair of the Age Friendly and Accessibility Committee. I need more than a nod of a head. There we go. Judith and Gail. All those in favor? Opposed and carried. Okay, so terms of reference. For those who don't maybe what I'll do is, CO, if you could just give us an overview of what the terms of reference actually mean and what they stand for and why we do this. Please.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. The terms of reference were set out by council and approved by council. They are the guiding document that gives the committee its direction on what council would like to see the committee work on, focus on, and accomplish. So that's the purpose of the terms of reference. Would you like me to read through the terms of references, or?
Is everybody comfortable with the terms of reference, or is there any part of the reference that we feel doesn't apply or is missing? I think we're okay. If I don't see anything, I think we're good. I mean, they're fairly, I mean, we can always come back to them. We can always add to them if we have to. It's a living document. Yes, sorry, Councillor Turner.
CO, I was just wondering, is this information sent to Sue ahead of time so that she could read it?
It's but my address at the last bar, my name, I can get it this time. Right.
Thank you very much. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so if there's in the future, if there's any confusion about the terms of reference, we can always revisit that. That's not a problem. So we don't have to recommend that we accept it. No, I didn't think so. Okay, reviewed. Thank you. 5.3 H, Friendly and Accessibility Advisory Committee Work Plan. Committee to discuss the work plan. One thing I don't see in here is Kelly's presentation. When do we do that? Or are you here to make a presentation or just help us work through this? Okay. Okay, I wasn't sure because I don't see anything here. So age friendly and accessibility, we're 5.3, Advisory Committee Work Plan, Committee to discuss work plan. So again, I know you guys have just received all of this. So this meeting might be, you know, not as in-depth as it should be because we're just all of us really seeing this for the first thing. So, yeah. So the work plan is right in front of you there. And for myself, I go to Nicola Meadows every month and they love to point out everything that's wrong with the community, which is good. And that's good to have. Now, I do appreciate that. A lot of word of mouth comes to us, but just sitting here, I can kind of see in the last little while some of the things that, as far as the city, that we might have to do in the future. One of them is clearly Sue can't find the button for her. We need to have a way so she can find the button to her microphone. And then when we had the lady from the hospice present to us, the older lady, I can't remember what her name is. She wasn't able to stand at that podium. I think we need to have a podium where somebody can access it from a wheelchair because she had a hard time holding on to that thing. Her husband had to be with her. So I think as we move forward as a group, we need to take those smaller things into you know, we need to have a podium that can either be raised or lowered or one that can be brought in for somebody in a wheelchair because she was having a hard time with that. Seal?
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to jump in here because that is one of the purposes of, absolutely one of the purposes of this committee. We did have a 2016, the Age and Accessibility plan that the previous committee was working their way through it and identifying what could be implemented. There is legislation that's changed. So there is a slight shift in the duties of the committee because it now includes to assist the city in identifying barriers to individuals in or interacting with the organization, which is what you've just highlighted here. So that is definitely part of the committee, is to help us identify what we can change throughout all of our facilities. And then it's also to advise on how to remove and prevent barriers to individuals when they're interacting with the organization or from accessing the organization. So that can be not only physical, emotional, mental, it can be a variety of barriers, just feeling unsafe in the certain spaces. So there's a lot of work that can be done by this committee in regards to how people in our community access our facilities.
Okay. And the floor is open to anybody who has any comments. Just push your button and we're good to go.
So just a question along those lines. I'm curious if the city has or has an accessibility audit been done, like of the facilities, or is that something that has been discussed in past? Again, this just being my first time here, I'm just curious.
That is an excellent question. I'm not aware of an audit having been done in my tenure here.
And that's, again, what this committee might, well, not might, you know, basically with a suggestion like, it's Judith, right? Yes. So Judith, something like that, that might be where you, now correct me if I'm wrong, but a motion would be made to, you know, of course, motion would be for the next time we meet or before to look into that or find out if we've actually done one, or we could just use it as a question, a part of the minutes to find out if we actually have done that. And then that can be given out to the group through an email. Yes, we have, no, we haven't, or how do we want to proceed? So I think it's a good question because yeah, I mean, we are finding some certain things like just something as simple as the podium not being correct for somebody who has a handicap. You know, you don't really realize it when you're capable of standing, and then all of a sudden you see somebody who's having a hard time. So yeah, no, I think Ashland, we're going to mark that down as something to check and see if we're doing. The committee would like to have that done, and if not, then we can move a little bit further on that. Councillor Charney.
I would like to know if it's possible to look into see if we can get a grant or whatever to have when you press the walk button, not just that whatever that says. I can never understand what it says, but crossing Nicola or crossing Quilshana, where because in Kamloops when I was down there the other day, it was very, very slow, but very clear as to what that was saying. It wasn't just a walk sign is on, walk sign is on, because like Sue is visually impaired, what walk sign is on. That's right. So I'm wondering if we could look into possibly if there's a grant, or does Modi pay for that? I don't know.
That would probably be a quick, because Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure, Modi, does have certain they do look at things like the flashing lights, crosswalks. We put those up, but we have to have permission from Modi to put them up.
Okay.
So we're working on the one down by Canco where the daycare is. Now we've been working on that for 14 months. I cannot believe it. We've already got the money ready for it. The other one is down by the fire hall. We're ready to go. Modi has sent us a letter saying, yeah, we're ready to roll. I don't know what the holdup is, so I'll have to ask again. But yeah, they would have to have something seen. Now, I don't know if I'm correct, but Sue, you might be able to help me on this. On the crossing buttons where the arrows, is there a braille underneath that arrow to tell you? I'll have to get you to turn your microphone on, Sue, please, because this is being recorded.
No, as far as I know, it's just the raised arrow.
Okay.
And then it says the walk sign is on,
okay.
But still, I'd say we have to wait, a couple seconds and listen to see which way the traffic is flowing.
Right.
So
okay. Okay. Good idea. Yeah. Because I do notice that a lot of the times I can hear that beep thing, and then I have no idea what's being said after that. It's well, not only that, but if the wind is blowing or a loud vehicle goes by, it's hard to pick up what's being said. So that's the next thing we'll work on as well. Okay. Yes, Kelly.
Sorry, I don't know the etiquette.
No, you
Mr.
just hit your, when I see a light flashing, boom.
Okay, thank you so much. There is a Vision Zero grant as well that's opening in October, and Linda, I can send that to you as well. That's exactly for these reasons. Obviously, it's around injury prevention, and if folks have visual impairments or hearing impairments and things like that, then obviously making crosswalks safer is what those grants are absolutely about. Therefore, boots on the ground changes. So that's something that I can send to Ashland, or I can work with Linda on, and we can support you with that grant application as well. So these are the kinds of things that I'm here to listen to and then can support the committee with, as well as ideas and all the other things that we're talking about. But yes, there are grants, and yes, it would be great to do that. And even if Modi is dragging their feet, that's something that I can support with as well and involve the medical health officer if that's helpful to get things moving at all.
Yeah, we might hit you up on that, because the last thing we need is a child being hit at that intersection. And we've been really on that for close to 14 months to get that fixed. And yeah. But they've been very good about saying they're going to do it. It's just, and I do believe we've bought all the equipment already and we're just waiting for the go time. So we'd like to see that done as quickly as possible. And like I say, I do go to, once a month, I go to Nicola Meadows and they let me know where there's a dip or the sidewalk isn't shaved. Now, we do have our own machines to shave down the sidewalks and stuff. And every year we have our, one of our workers goes out and analyzes all the sidewalks. You'll see the little red line where he's painted it for it to come down. And we do have our, one time we used to contract someone to come in and do it, but it got so expensive, we just bought our own. It's just easier. So we do monitor our sidewalks. There is and maybe what we'll do is get Rick to give us the requirement of what gets shaved down and what doesn't. There's a certain inch that we have to go past before it's shaved down. We have replaced sidewalks, especially down by Nicola Meadows. A lady tripped, she was in a walker and she tripped. It was uneven. And 2 days later, and I've got some pictures from her husband. And 2 days later, Rick had the whole thing pulled up and all new sidewalk went down. So we're very cognizant that we make the flow for everybody as easy as possible. Especially like when Larry, I mean, I'm sure you come into a lot of things on your chair. It's hard to get around. And again, when you're quite capable of moving around, it gets lost. And the one story I use is the lady at July 1st, 2 years ago, that pulled me over at the crosswalk by the car wash. She said, "Do you see anything wrong with it?" She's in a wheelchair. I said, "No, I don't see anything wrong with it." Well, the sidewalk was like this. There was no down. It was just because it was in the wrong spot. We've now moved the crosswalk to where it's supposed to be. So again, when you're capable, you don't even notice it. Like I stood there for a minute and she's like, "Well, now get in the chair and figure out how you can get across that." And I'm like, "Oh, there it is." So anyways, crosswalk was in the wrong spot. She pointed out that there was a problem. We've moved it to where it's supposed to be now. So, and these are the things that we rely on as people in the community to bring this forward that are accessible.
I would like some input from both Larry, who is in the wheelchair, and Sue, who is visually impaired, as to problems in the winter. What do you encounter in the winter that we as a city can try to help you with?
Larry?
The biggest problem I find being in a wheelchair or a motorized scooter is that they do plow the snow up around the sidewalk and they leave the snow around the sidewalk. Happens all over town. It's quite common. I talked to Mike last year and he said they bought a special machine that has 12 different attachments to it to do that. We didn't have much snow last year, but as far as I know, it was never done for the corners of the sidewalk. Getting back to the paving or cutting down of the sidewalk, there's a bad one right by end of Home Hardware there. I had to help a lady one day. She's in a walker. They have not enough strength to lift it. It's only about that much, but she was trying to go up it. So I just got into a position where I could help her pull it up. So there's lots of those around town. I mean, they might have been shaved, but they haven't been looked at after they were done. Whether it was the contractor said, "Oh yeah, we did that. We went over there and did that one too." But they do enough. I mean, something that can be looked at. I mean, I'm fine because I can go a little faster and hit the bumps.
Yeah.
But the snow removal is a big thing.
Yeah.
In Merritt already. Even in, for the handicapped people, as I call us, it is a bit of a problem.
Sue?
Right, same thing with me as you get to the corner and it's kind of, well, do we go up and over or which way do we go? And it's a little bit scary. And also laneways, like people will, they're supposed to shovel the front of their walks or, the main sidewalk, whatever, the city comes and does it, but the laneways don't. So you're stepping from pavement onto sheer ice where the lane comes in. And quite often that's where I stumble. It's because you're going from where it's been all nicely done to something that's not been done. And I don't know why, if you're, mind you, I guess probably that's the people that live next to the laneways. Maybe that's their responsibility to do as well. But I find it's the laneways. And also, which your bylaw people have come quite, I'm sure they shudder every time I phone, but I find bushes and stuff that goes, sidewalks are only 3 feet deep or whatever wide. And you're getting all of a sudden you're walking and then you're getting smacked in the face by a bunch of branches and bushes and stuff. And our dogs are trained to, you know, go off the sidewalk, along the curb and then back onto the sidewalk. But when it's new ones like this, you know, he's like, well, I can't take you out there. It's dangerous. I'm not going.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit of getting used to. And I know that, you know, there's a process you have to follow with letter writing and that kind of stuff. But if we could have a little bit more control over hedges, like going a foot and a half over onto the main sidewalk.
Good. Well, sure.
Who controls the laneways? Because I was down one and it is extremely overgrown. Whose responsibility are the lanes?
Well, I would believe that's the city's.
Okay.
I would be corrected if I am corrected, but I do believe it's the city.
Just to clarify, is this for snow removal or for bushes?
Bushes. Yeah, for example.
Homeowner. Unless it's, well, it's like anything else, like in front of my house, I don't own the land, but I'm asked to keep it tidy.
The laneway behind the courthouse is extremely overgrown.
Yes, it is.
And the one down, if you're coming out of Meat Market, that laneway there by the lawn bowling. So is that the city's or is that the homeowners? Because their property stops and it's a laneway that goes right. I'd be interested.
We can certainly look into those two specific ones. What we have done this year is we've had a program with the second bylaw officer. We've actually been able to have a program for hedge maintenance throughout the city, specifically for that purpose, to address the accessibility on our sidewalks. And we've managed to get quite a number of people to cut and trim their hedges, cedar hedges, bushes, that sort of thing, right back to their property line. So that is something that we are aware of and we have been working on. So there is a big difference this year.
Some of this is growing the property line. Then there's these trees growing. So that's what I don't know. Whose responsibility is that?
I'll have to find out.
It's on a case-by-case basis. We would want to take a look at it, see exactly what the situation is, and then make a determination.
Perfect. Thank you.
Nope, you're wrong. You just shut yourself off.
Okay, so back to the snow removal thing. This is something we discussed in length 3 years ago, and how to address it. It's really a problem because I know for myself even, and I'm able-bodied. So, I mean, it is a problem with the snow piling up at the end of the sidewalks and you can't get across the street. The sidewalk's clear, but then you can't get onto the street, right? So, and it is something we spent a lot of time on. We have a whole action plan here, which at the time that the committee was dissolved, there was a lot of things that were in progress. And I'm wondering if we shouldn't be looking at this whole thing and going through it one by one and see where we are with everything.
Sure.
At some, maybe not this meeting, but the next one.
Well, before the snow flash, probably.
Well, not just that, but this is everything to do with the action plan, right? So we should know where we are because I've got all this in progress stuff, right?
Yep.
And yes, so that's what I want to say.
Sure. And what I have to tell you is that Councillor Charney is a very strong snow clearing warrior. So and I don't blame her because people get injured real fast on that kind of stuff. So we do have some equipment that has been bought. There was some changes, and one of the things that you have to become to a reality. We only have so many people doing so many things at so much time that gets done, sort of thing. So I'm not making excuses here, but it's a big city and there's a lot of snow removal to be done. But I agree. I think we should be going over what was so we know where we're going, because I think that's a good idea. Now, we'll put that in the minutes that we'd like to go over that in the next meeting. So that'll give everybody time to go over it and see where we are and what's what and what's not what. But I think it's a good idea. So the meeting can be the next item is the yearly meeting schedule, but a meeting can be called by the chair at any point in time. So I mean, we're supposed to meet 4 times a year. So I think at this point right now with our Recreation Commission group, we're meeting once a month because we're trying to catch up on before we get to budget. So I would say that we probably should maybe talk about another one in the next 3-4 weeks, just really go over this to go make sure we got it all in order and what the snow clearing plan is. And maybe we could have Mr. Green here for that one and he could give us the reality of what can be done because that's what we have to face here is what actually can be done. I mean, we would love a lot of things to happen, but we have to go with what we can do. Who's the winner here? Kelly, you're the winner.
I just have a question, and maybe it's to you, Linda. Around the legislation, there is some requirements to have a new accessibility plan done that meets sort of all the criteria that the province has laid out. Now, I know the deadline has been flexible for communities where resources have been tight. Is there a deadline for a new accessibility plan that comes under that legislation? And does that impact the schedule at all?
I would have to do a bit of research for that. I know that we have a plan in place. So at the minimum, at least we have a plan. Some communities didn't, which is great. I love the fact that we are reviewing it, and then that will update us to get us to where we need to be. But I don't have a specific sense on when the deadlines are.
Gail?
Yes, for the next meeting, if we can have it after September.
Oh, most definitely.
The 13th.
We just like to get it before,
Only
like October.
I want to be at it.
Yeah, no, and I think it's something important that we really have to address is the snow clearing, and it's just there's some realities that come with it, and everybody needs to be aware of what those realities are. We lost the Snow Angel program, right? That went out the window, and there's been other talk of other programs, but they've never really seemed to have taken off. So I would suggest that our homework would be to go through the existing what we have here, the action plan, and then where you guys have been, and then be prepared. So yeah, October would be fine. Linda will throw out a thing. Yeah. Late September at UBCM. So I think October probably would be the better month. So we can throw something up in October. That way everybody's had a chance to go over this. And then we get Mr. Green maybe to come, or Mike, to make a presentation on what snow clearing really looks like and how we do it. Because we do have a snow clearing plan that we follow. And Rick is or Mike are really good at it, and they can give you the 411 on how this all works. So, but yes, Wendy is always on about scooters and people. Yeah, that's why she's on this committee. So yeah, so anything else for the work plan that's outstanding for anyone as we move forward? I mean, we're not going to have a lot till we go over this, because I mean, some stuff that's in there will be either aged out or not correct, sort of thing, and we'll move on with that. But if there's anything else that, yep.
Well, I have a whole list of things that I've compiled for the last 2 years, but I think I'll wait until we go over that before I bring them all up.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, one thing you could do is the things that you're concerned about, send it to Linda in an email, and that can be then added on, and then we can start going over that and finding out what works and what doesn't work. I mean, other thing that we're going to probably have to talk about sooner or later is if transit changes to a centralization, how that's going to affect us, so how that's going to look. Transit wants to, instead of having the offices and everything in each community, they want to have it in one community, and then everybody works out of that community. So our transit situation, everything would move to Kamloops, and then they would run. Yeah, so we're not too excited about that. We've been let them know we're not excited about that. So that's the one thing we've got to be, I think as an accessibility group, we need to push forward to the fact that we need our transit to be local. We need our people to be local. We need our repairs to be local, our mechanics to be local. We can't rely on a town that's an hour and a half away or hour and 10 minutes away to keep us viable. So, Gail. Yeah. Gail, you're up. No. Okay. Anyone else? Kelly?
Ask another question, and I realize that I'm coming with more questions than more answers. So thank you for the grace to do that. I was curious, has there been annual reports on the progress on the accessibility or the age-friendly plan? Like, is there happy, and I'm glad to look through this plan, but is there a document, a companion document that talks about what has been done or needs to be done?
So let's all look at Gail, maybe. No, Linda?
At this point, no, there hasn't been, but the committee did meet several times. They went through this plan, which I'm hoping will form the basis of our new one. So the proposed changes to this will be a starting point for a new plan to be made. We just have the minutes from the previous meetings that the suggestions for changes and for implementation of these recommendations were made on. But yeah, no, these are all things that we definitely need to do. We're kind of starting fresh and there's a lot of work to be done.
Okay. Anything else on the work plan? 5.4 yearly meeting schedule. I think we've touched on that, but we should meet at least, I believe, 4 times a year is what the standard is. Can you go over quorum and what quorum means and what quorum isn't and what happens when we don't reach quorum, et cetera, et cetera?
So thank you, Your Worship. So quorum would be at least half plus 1 of the membership of the committee. If quorum is not present, then no meeting, no decisions can be made. What we would do is if there's not quorum here, we would just make note of who is in attendance and then reschedule a meeting. So it is important that please let us know if you're able to attend or not. We're happy if we're finding that there is not enough people to meet quorum, then we're happy to find another date and reschedule the meeting as soon as possible. We can certainly do that. But yeah, quorum is definitely half plus 1. And
if we miss 3 straight, the committee is dissolved. Is that how it works?
No. If there's 4, if someone were to essentially miss 4 meetings, then they would not be on the committee anymore.
No, but I mean, if we didn't establish quorum 3 straight times, that's the end of the committee, right? It's dissolved. We'll have to check into that. That's not
in our terms of reference.
Okay.
So it's just for if an individual were not attending a meeting 4 times in a row, then they would be off the committee.
Okay. So the meeting schedule, I think we've decided we would like to have one in October of this year. And then I think we would probably fall into the 4 for the next year, because that will take us almost to the end of the year. So probably, I don't know, spring, summer, winter, fall. And if we feel that we need to meet more, then we'll meet more. Gail?
I'm just curious to know how many committee members we have, and are they all in attendance here at this point today?
I think we might be missing.
I do believe that we have everybody in attendance today. I'm just looking at our terms of reference here to see how many it was on the. So there is 7 voting members that can be appointed to the committee. We don't have a full complement.
There's 7 of them.
There's 5, not including council. So there's 5 people that have. So it's 1 member of council appointed by council, at least 4 individuals who self-identify that they have a disability or who support or are from organizations that support persons with disabilities, at least 2 individuals over age 55 who have an active interest and awareness of the concerns of residents in their age group, and at least 1 member who is of Indigenous heritage. So I believe we've got 6 people that are appointed officially.
So the council member assigned is Councillor Charney, correct?
That is correct.
And just so people understand, as the mayor, I'm de facto on every committee.
That is correct.
If I choose to be there. Now, I'm able to vote, am I not?
Yes.
Okay, I just wasn't sure. Just don't want to stick my hand up like an idiot. So, and people over 55. So Gail, you just barely made it. Barely. Okay. So are we okay with the meeting in October? And then Linda will and Ashley will set out the meeting for next year. We're okay with that? Got it. Yeah, I didn't hit this part, so if everybody's okay with that, we'll move forward on that. Okay, good. Termination of meeting. Before we end, is there anything anybody wants to bring up? That would be the time. If there's anything on your minds, Ashley.
I just wanted to ask, opposed to, in addition with sending the agendas, I do the packages up in a printed version like I did for today, maybe before the meeting, maybe the week before for you folks, yes, and have them here. Would that be something that would be helpful? Yes?
Yes, please.
Absolutely, yes. We're going to do a test with the provided updated email address as soon as I'm done here, and we'll make sure that you get it, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Well, I just want to say thank you for everybody for coming, and it's nice to see this committee finally get off the ground. I've been one of the committees I've been anxious to see get going, and I think we're completely committed up now. It's nice. So do appreciate. I understand we've got 2 years left. I mean, I'm sure we can do a lot of work in 2 years. And just appreciate that you're taking the time and have the concern for your community, and try and make it a better place as possible. And we can deal with all the realities that come with some of the situations, and we'll go from there. So unless there's anything else, I'll just call the meeting. And thank you for coming, Kelly. I appreciate it. Termination.